It's quiz time.
Quiz time.
So, the previous session that we had,
Yeah, after missing one.
We had some questions. So, how did you do? Here it goes.
Okay, I'm ready.
So, here's last week's questions, or 2 weeks' questions. What's the difference between news and entertainment?
Ah, great question. So the way I think about it is news is facts that are events that actually occurred, and entertainment is the opinions about those facts and everything else that's involved. So if somebody says the Dow is at 9,800, that's news because I didn't know what it was before that. If they tell me that it's at 9,800 because of a Head and Shoulders configuration and technical analysis, that's entertainment because that may be true or may not be true.
So we're entertainment?
We are. Well, of course we're entertainment.
It's our opinion.
Yeah, it's when you get an opinion, it's entertainment because you don't want to listen to the opinions. You want the news, which is the data.
Okay, next one. Why should we be worried about the China's yuan?
The currency in China, the yuan, is troubling for us because it's pegged, and traditionally pegged currencies tend to have sharp corrections. We saw it in Thailand. That was a crisis where the currency revalued by 50% overnight. So what cost $1, the next day cost $2, which is a problem, obviously, for their economy. Same thing happened in Russia. Their currency revalued very sharply, and what we're hoping is that China's currency will be revalued over time and
very
not sharply.
Small little moves like they just started to do.
Yeah, we like small moves in currencies. If it's a sharp revaluation, imagine everything we buy from China doubling in price in like a day.
Oh.
That would be a problem. That's why we watch it, is we don't need any shocking news from that part of the world.
Okay, and then the last question is, how much should you have in your emergency savings fund?
Well, and of course that question, as we talked about last week or 2 weeks ago, is that depends. You know, the rule of thumb of 6 months or 8 months, whatever it is, may or may not apply to you. You may need more than that. If you have an executive position, you could have considerably more than, you may need considerably more than 6 months of pay in the bank. On the other hand, if you have access to credit and access to other funds, you may not have to hold the cash. So emergency savings should be about your situation and not a rule of thumb.
All right. Well, so, what do you have for us this week?
Well, this week's pretty simple. So the first question is, why is a fiduciary standard important to you? And what is technical analysis? And the third question is, how do you avoid groupthink? So ponder those for this week, and we'll talk about them next week.